You're watching Al Jazeera's special coverage of the death of Nelson Mandela. In life, South Africa's anti-apartheid icon was described as a crusader, a fighter and a titan. Crowds have been gathering all day outside his home in Johannesburg. People are bringing flowers, others have been singing and dancing to celebrate the life of South Africa's first black president. He died surrounded by his family after a long battle with lung infection. He was 95. South Africans have been paying tribute to the man they called Madiba.
I feel sad, not just for South Africa, but the whole world. I think he was a great icon who will be remembered in generations to come. A bright person with a big heart.
He's a father, he's an armor, he's a husband to those who have grieved. He is the leader, he's a sole provider to those who are looking for any inspiration. He is the father of a nation, Tata Madiba.
We are sad because he has done a lot for us. He gave grandmothers and children social grants. He has empowered women to stand on their own. We thank him for everything he has done for us.
Our correspondent Tania is live in Soweto, where Mandela lived for many years before he was put in prison. Tania, I can see you struggling to hear me there. I can just imagine that the crowds behind you there must just be getting bigger and louder.
Yes, exactly. And what people are doing now is that they've split into two groups and they're taking turns to march and chant and sing up and down the full length of Vilakazi Street. It's somewhere where people really felt that they had to be, and I think this over the coming days is going to be one of the central focuses of people's outpouring of emotion and gratitude to Nelson Mandela. Just across the road behind the brown fence, you may be able to see them, a big banner there, is the home that he lived with his former wife, Mandela, and their two young daughters. This is a very personal day for these people. Many of these people were his neighbour, they're his friends, they have personal anecdotes to share with us that are pretty extraordinary when you consider that he was very accessible to so many people here in Soweto, a real hotbed of anti-apartheid activism, and yet this is a man who is admired and loved the world over.
Tania, given that he was just so loved in South Africa, how has the last year been for those South Africans that love him so much, seeing him hospitalised so many times and seeing him battle this lung illness?
Look, it's been really difficult. People have gradually gotten to terms with the fact that he would inevitably pass, because in the last 18 months in particular, the number of times he's gone into hospital has increased and the length of time he's spent in hospital has increased as well. Some 3 months, the last one, and then he was discharged to his home with a full entourage and complement of nurses, machines to help him, and also doctors. So he had everything that he could possibly be provided with at his home. So people knew that this day would come. Of course, it's inevitable, but they didn't really want to face it necessarily. But, you know, when you talk to people here, they tell you things like, we're not out here crying, we're out here celebrating, we're singing because it's celebration of the life of a man, because he lived a full life. He gave us everything that he had to give, and he owes us nothing.
Thank you very much for that, Tania. That's our correspondent Tania joining us from Soweto.